Next up, we've got Iotex. So they're going to be pitching their project. So if you want to join the stage and introduce yourself.
All right. Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining. We're from Iotex. We come from the United States, headquartered in Silicon Valley. And today I'm going to share a little bit about our project, what we call the kind of the Internet of Trusted Things. So just a little background on Iotex. We got started in 2017. Our team comes from companies like Google, Facebook, Amazon. I myself come from MIT and spent 5 years in management consulting. And we have built a very unique platform focused on the machine economy and using blockchain as a foundation of trust for what we call the Internet of Trusted Things. So what's the kind of the problem statement that Iotex is solving? We have a vision for what we call building the connected world. So we are a blockchain and IoT platform that's fueling the future of Web3, focused on connecting devices to the blockchain and using them as arbiters of truth for different types of applications. Right now, by 2030, there's going to be 100 billion devices in the world, generating 80 zettabytes of data, 80 trillion gigabytes of data. McKinsey estimates the Internet of Things is going to be valued at $12.6 trillion by 2030. And our question is, who's going to own this Internet of Things? Machines will become our future workforce, and we want to use blockchain and IoT in order to make sure these machines work for everyday people and businesses, not corporations. So our goal with Iotex is really to connect real-world machines and data to the Web3 universe. We're a layer 1 blockchain, and we power all different types of applications. But most importantly, we have a vision called MachineFi, which is connecting different types of machines to different blockchain applications in order to fuel a brand new design space for blockchain. Just an overview of our platform. We built our layer 1 blockchain completely from scratch, starting in 2017. We have a great layer 1 blockchain that we built, 5-second block times with instant finality. We run our own in-house consensus mechanism. It's cheap, it's fast, it's decentralized, but really what makes us different from all the other layer 1 blockchains is the IoT-oriented middleware that we've added on top of our layer 1 blockchain. Specifically, we do a lot of things with device identity. We've created an IEEE standard called Identity of Things, which seeks to provide decentralized identity for devices so people can understand who these devices are, what manufacturer they're from, and trust these devices before they relay data to the blockchain. We also have a very unique protocol called TrueStream. TrueStream is a real-world data oracle. It helps to grab data from all sorts of devices and bring them to the blockchain in order for dApps to utilize. And finally, we have all sorts of developer toolkits. We have wallets, SDKs, explorers, Web3 and EVM compatible. And all of this is used to power different DeFi, GameFi, and what we call MachineFi applications. So again, Iotex, EVM compatible layer 1 chain to enable trusted data from trusted devices for use in trusted applications. Our ecosystem is very large and growing. We got started in 2017, over 100,000 monthly active users of our wallets, over 12,000 devices registered to the blockchain now, and $300 million in assets managed on chain. We have over 100 dApps, services, and tools registered to the Iotex network, and we do a lot of industry research within the IEEE Industry IoT Consortium, MOBI, and many, many more. Most importantly, this is not just science fiction talking about blockchain and IoT anymore. We put out several real-world devices. One of them is called Pebble Tracker. I have it here with me. Pebble Tracker is a real-world device that streams data directly to the blockchain in order to be used in different applications. It has a lot of different sensors built into it: GPS, temperature, humidity, air quality, air pressure, motion, vibration, and light. Really provides a nice 360 view of an asset's environment. And we use this information to trigger different incentive models on blockchain. For example, if you wanted to claim an NFT by proving you are at a specific place at a specific time, you can do that. If you wanted to set up service level agreements that are automatically settled using the temperature, the humidity, or other metrics that these devices collect, you can also do that. Another device that we have is called UCAM. It's a CES Innovation Award winner in 2020, and we have sold about 12,000 of these in 60 plus countries. It uses a decentralized identity to make sure users are the only ones that own their data and videos exclusively. And we're also working with a lot of unique Raspberry Pi and Arduino implementations as well. Here's the view of our ecosystem map. Like I mentioned, Iotex is a foundation for a lot of different service providers, applications, tools, and services to be built. I'm not going to go too deep into this, but we have many, many, many partners, 100+ partners building and part of the Iotex ecosystem. And the main thing I wanted to share with you guys today is our view of how blockchain and IoT can fuel a new paradigm, what we call proof of anything, right? Everyone's familiar with proof of stake and proof of work. These are consensus mechanisms by default, but really these consensus mechanisms are actual proofs that people or machines provide to the blockchain. Proof of work, you're providing proof of your work in order to establish candidacy to become a Bitcoin validator. Proof of stake, if you prove you have 32 ETH staked on Ethereum, you can also become a validator. So Iotex really questions, what if we can prove other facts to the blockchain in order to trigger different types of permissions or incentives and others? So our tech stack is really built around this concept of proof of anything. We have secure hardware that makes sure that the data that you put onto the blockchain is trusted. We have a real-world data oracle to make sure this data can be translated in a way that smart contracts can ingest and understand. We have decentralized identity to make sure that data that's brought to the blockchain is owned by specific identities on the chain, whether the devices, humans, or businesses. And finally, all this is feeding, all this data is fed into smart contracts and decentralized applications that use this input to trigger different incentive models. One of the most interesting verticals we're really focused on is geolocation, proof of presence. If you could prove you are at a specific place at a specific time, that could be used as an input into a smart contract to create an NFT, to settle a payment, to authorize data to be transferred. There's a lot of different ways this can be used, whether it's in supply chain, whether it's in other areas as well. So, geolocation is not the only thing we do at Iotex. We're very focused on automotive and healthcare as well. If you can prove to a smart contract that you are healthier by taking 10,000 steps or by burning 100 active calories, you can get a token for that. That represents voting rights as part of a health DAO. If in the automotive space, if you prove that you've taken more environmentally friendly routes, maybe that will give you a lower insurance rate. So Iotex is really the foundation for a lot of these decentralized applications to happen. More importantly, Web3 is all about open peer-to-peer incentives, right? Everything about Web3 is there's always someone trying to incentivize someone else to do something that they wouldn't necessarily do on their own accord. This is all the way from the layer 1 blockchain level all the way up to the DApp level. If you think about what a blockchain validator does, they run nodes, they run servers, not because they just want to have fun doing it, but because the protocol incentivizes them to do it, right? So there's a direct peer-to-peer incentive between the protocol and the node provider that allows them to run these servers and get rewards. At the decentralized application level, we're very familiar with DeFi, GameFi, and proof of stake type of things, right? That was the past. The past was all about proof of stake and DeFi. These protocols incentivized users to deposit and stake assets in order to earn yield or rewards, right? It was the first killer use case, I believe, of blockchain. Today, we live in kind of a GameFi world where people are doing things in the digital world in order to earn digital assets or digital reputation. Clicking buttons on your phone, tapping keys on your computer. This is what GameFi is all about, right? Now, what Iotex is trying to do is bring MachineFi and real-world data into the design space of Web3. We're trying to get people to do things in the real world in order to earn digital assets and digital reputation. And like I said, blockchain and IoT are horizontal technologies that stretch across many, many different verticals. We talked a little bit about healthcare, we talked about automotive, but just looking around, seeing all the different machines that are capturing data about us, listening, watching, processing information about what we're doing in the real world, these can all be inputs into decentralized applications and DApps in order to drive these peer-to-peer incentives, right? Walk a mile, get a token. Visit a specific pop-up shop or even this conference next year, or you're going to get an NFT for doing so. and not just by proving that you're clicking buttons on your phone, but by being here in the present, in the real world. Right now, we're doing a lot of things in automotive and supply chain that are very, very interesting. Driving peer-to-peer incentives. We live in a very penalty-based system today, where if you do something wrong, you're penalized for it. But what Web3 allows you to do is add incentives and rewards, not for doing things bad, but for doing things well, right? It's almost like a bonus that you get at work. If you do a good job, you get the normal amount of pay. If you do a bad job, you're penalized for it by being fired. But if you do a great job, you can have incentives for doing it. Everything from where you walk to even how you sleep, right? One of my favorite use cases of blockchain that we're actually working on with a lot of wearables, healthcare wearables, is sleep to earn, right? It sounds like a stupid concept, but imagine you're a corporate employer, right? And you want to make sure that your employees are getting a good night of sleep before they show up to work on Monday. You can deliver a direct peer-to-peer incentive to your employees, maybe $1 in cryptocurrency for every 7 hours of sleep that you get. That's a direct open peer-to-peer incentive that could be delivered by blockchain. So going back to this, Web3 is all about open peer-to-peer incentives. Whether it's an insurance company incentivizing you to be healthier, that's a win-win solution for both you and your insurance company. Whether it is a city incentivizing people to visit certain places, kind of as a scavenger hunt, right? Imagine Dubai had NFTs tagged to the TripAdvisor top 10 list of all the things. They can incentivize you not only to visit Dubai, but to get an insider scoop about what the real Dubai is like by visiting different multi-itinerary scavenger hunt type of concepts. So the design space for this is massive, right? What we can do in the digital world is just one thing. What we can do in the real world is a huge, huge design space. And Iotex is really the foundation for a lot of this to happen, right? So going back to this slide, all of the tech stack that we built from the layer 1 blockchain to the layer 2 protocols to the developer toolkits is really used to create DeFi, GameFi, and MachineFi applications. MachineFi is one thing, but I think it really becomes interesting once you start to combine MachineFi and GameFi or MachineFi and DeFi, right? All the GameFi applications today are people sitting at home clicking buttons on their phone. But imagine if you can gamify the real world, right? Driving incentives to visit specific locations, geocaching, even in the DeFi space, right? Parametric insurance. How do we deliver insurance incentives for people that do things well in the world instead of do things poorly? And walking around AIBC yesterday, I saw a lot of different metaverse companies out there. I think the metaverse is going to start not with these completely virtual and from scratch worlds, but we're going to be starting to mirror the real world to the metaverse first and foremost, right? So imagine if you did a workout in the real world and your metaverse character can get stronger, or if you purchased some type of jacket in the real world and your metaverse character could also receive that jacket. All of this data and all this proof is going to be created by trustworthy devices that tell the blockchain facts about the real world. And this is what Iotex is all about. We bring real world data to Web3 so people can build all sorts of new types of applications. So if you guys are interested in anything we're saying, this is a Pebble Tracker device, fully functioning, streaming data to the blockchain as we speak, geolocation, temperature, humidity, motion, vibration, and light. We're also doing a lot of things with automotive, connecting OBD2 sensors into vehicles to grab telemetry data in order to fuel, different incentives for driving better or driving safer, connecting insurance providers with this real-world information in a decentralized way. Other use cases that we're really interested in are, land management. We're working with CityDAO. There's currently 6 Pebble Trackers out in Wyoming capturing data about different land so they can get a better understanding of what that land that they're trying to sell as NFTs is looking like. So with that, that's my presentation for today. Iotex has been around for about 5 years now, and we've really slaved away at making blockchain and IoT a reality. I think there's a lot of talk about blockchain and IoT, but the proof is in the pudding. So we have real products. If you want to chat more, these are for sale online, and come meet Ollie and Dan in the back and learn more about Iotex. Thank you so much.